Sunnyside to Seaton and everywhere in between. He's taking the pulse of the city. Calgary Today with Joe McFarland on 770 CHQR.
I got to give full credit first and foremost to our online content coordinator, Adam Toy, who happens to be behind the Facebook Live video feed right now. He's the one who flagged this article and wanted to ask Mike Roberts about this from Co-op Wine, Spirits, and Beer. Video shows divers recovering 1,700-year-old jugs from Roman shipwreck. Those jugs contain things such as wine, oil, fish sauce, and salt. And so, Mike, I got to ask the question, what do you think 1,700-year-old wine tastes like?
Your guess is as good as mine, but I'd sure like to try it, wouldn't you?
I don't know. It gives a whole new meaning to that whole, putting hair on your knuckles, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know how well aged that would be. Would it turn into... It could
be like the fountain of youth. It could cure all your ailments or something, don't you think?
I don't, I've never thought to keep something for a year, let alone 1,700 years, right? And I mean, wine gets better with age, but at some point there's such a thing as too much age.
Sure. It's very true. Wine has a finite life, that is for sure, or at least a finite life in the sense that we would enjoy drinking it, that's for sure. They've found lots of wine like this at the bottom of the ocean for sure, and some of it has been, sort of quote-unquote healthy, and people have enjoyed it for sure. This is stored in clay and amphorae, and then it probably had cork holding the wine in, so... at this point, it's probably not 100% of the contents. Do you know what I mean? The cork probably, at this point has dissipated and all that kind of stuff and has been breached, or I don't know what the term is I'm looking for. But
so you said that you'd be willing to try it. Would you try it for free, or would it have to come with a fee?
Oh, well, I'd rather it be free.
Well, no, I mean, to me, I'm like, you'd have to pay me a good sum of money to be able
Really?
Oh, yeah, because if I die...
Yeah, I don't think you'd die.
No? Okay.
I would pay a ticket to try it, yes, is the answer. I would pay to try it. I think that'd be really cool. It's a part of history, right?
It's kissing the Blarney Stone in the wine world?
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
You were also talking off air about how there are some things that are old that become new again. Mm-hmm. And this whole storing wine in jugs or amphorae is actually kind of coming back, sort of.
Yeah, for sure. You see a lot of wineries are doing concrete and concrete eggs, and that's sort of that is sort of based on the idea of the amphorae. It's all about the shape, and of course the clay, the raw material. It's not going to really impart any flavor, but it allows sort of micro oxygenation of the wine and holds it really, really well. And you're seeing some wineries are having fun and experimenting and playing around with clay amphorae and letting their wines ferment in small vessels like that, and then transferring them over into oak and stainless steel and all that kind of stuff afterwards.
I suppose a lot of it too, when you have as many technological advances as we've seen over the last 20 years or so, of course you're going to see people trying different things just to see, maybe this different type of plastic might be the perfect container for a new bottle of wine.
Yeah, for sure. And I think sometimes things change just because someone thinks that things need to change. Right. Do you know what I mean? And then people go, wait a minute, how can we change this? And you look back at it and you're like, why did we do that? And I think some of the processes will have changed in the wine world for sure because of, OH&S, health and safety, and
might be a big part of it.
And cleanliness and technology and things like that. And there's a whole business side of things, making things more efficient in a winery and more cost effective, et cetera, et cetera. But, the more and more people are learning about wine, then, here I am speaking on a radio about wine, people go down the path of exploration. They're like, oh, well, I wonder what the 1,700-year-old wine would have tasted like. So people are trying to, recreate those recipes and stuff to see what it potentially would have tasted like, right?
I'd be interested to know what changed it so that they went from, back in the 1,700 years ago era to the point where we're going to do it in glass bottles, right? To go back in time and to go, oh, that's when they decided to shift it. So you have that why behind
there
the
is
decision.
A part of that was fraud. So I think you even saw it in Game of Thrones, right? Remember, they tried to pawn off the wine as being some special wine, remember? And if it's all in just these clay pots, you would never know. People could just lie to you and tell you it was the Dornish wine when really it was from Westeros or whatever. I don't know. I'm making things up on the spot. But bottles were hard to make and were more expensive when glass first came around. So bottles and the shapes of bottles and embossing on bottles was very difficult for people to copy and fraud, right? So bottles were a big part of that. That's why a lot of wineries would have moved to that. It was more expensive, more glamorous, and more fancy, right?
You've done a pretty good job of hiding what's behind these bottles here. And when I say bottles, he brought in a grab bag.
I did.
I don't know what I did to deserve this, but thank you.
You're very welcome. I love grab bag. That's awesome. I haven't heard that in a really long time. But this is our Discovery wine packs is what we do. So every month we have a new Discovery wine pack.
Okay.
And this month we've got a white, a red, and then a mix pack.
Okay.
So you can get a bag of all reds, a bag of all whites, or a mix of red and whites. And there are always some different styles of wine in very happy price points. It's usually about sort of like a 20% savings, maybe more. So this is, if you added up all these 6 wines in the bag today, it'd be $113 regular price, but we have it on for $77 for the bag.
Oh, very cool.
So you're just over $10 a bottle, $12 a bottle or something like that. So it's a great price. And then I've opened up one of those bottles from Spain for us to taste today. So the Discovery bags, you can find those at all of our locations. Comes with a little card in there with the tasting notes and tells you all about each of the wines. And if you feel like you tend to buy the same 1 or 2 or 3 wines every time, I should say, it's a great way to get out there and explore the world of wine and, not having to spend too much money doing that. So
I was going to ask, from your perspective, when you're putting the different wines in the bag, do you have a certain theme in mind that you're going for, or is it sort of a true, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, go back 4 and just you'll see what happens.
Yeah, not quite. It's each month we are looking for wines that are great value and quality price ratio kind of thing. For sure, months like October, when you're looking at Thanksgiving or we have Christmas season coming up and different times of year like that, we definitely think of those seasonality effects with the bags and choose wines that are good for those. And then some months we also do 90-point Discovery packs. So it's all wines that have above 90-point ratings from various wine critics. So you're getting sort of more premium wines, if you will. And it really is a great value. It's a great way to explore. So,
it sounds exactly that. So give us a little bit of the 411 on this particular bottle that you cracked.
This is cool. It's called Sola Fred, and it's made by Celler Masroig, and it's from Spain. We like it because Celler Masroig is actually a cooperative, so it's a bunch of grape growers in Spain that all put their grapes together, and then they produce wine, so everybody gets to share it all nice and evenly. So being a cooperative, we like that philosophy. This is exclusive to Co-op. We grabbed all of it. It's 97 points from Decanter Wine Magazine, which is pretty good out of a score of 100. Yeah. And it's sub $20, so even better. And it's 100% Carignan from an area called Montsant, which is just south of Barcelona in Spain. There's big cliffs, the Montsant Mountains, and a big, deep red wine, lots of flavor, but no time in oak barrel. So it's really juicy, really easy to approach, and nice, long, lingering taste. So
great smell,
value.
great taste as well. And that you can find maybe in one of your packs.
It is. It is in the red Discovery wine pack this month, as well as you should be able to find it on the shelf in pretty much all of our locations for great value.
Mike Roberts over at Co-op Wine, Spirits and Beer here on this Wine Wednesday. Thanks for coming in. This is Calgary Today on 770 CHQR. Let's go to helicopter traffic for West District by Truman.